deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man Furious, Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. I like to say what's up to everybody in podcast land listening via iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Today we have a very special treat. If you've been a long-time listener of the show, we've had actors and actresses such as Lisa Reyes from All That, Nick Thomas. We also had Liz Michaels, also a jazz vocalist and actress, and had many artists such as Damian Hall from Guy, and a lot of Grammy-nominated and Grammy winners here. And today we have a special guest. Our first ever poet, Joee Giovanni, is here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. So before we begin, I guess the first question I'd like to ask is, who is Joee Giovanni, and how would you describe your poetic works and what you do?
Well, I'm an artist of all kinds. You know what I mean? So when it comes to my work, I really try and pull a lot of my inspiration from life and things that I've been through, things I'm going through, and just try to convey myself and be as transparent as I can. Give people a peek into my life and hopefully try to help somebody in the process.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been doing poetry?
It's been a while, man. It actually started when I was in high school, and my man's Compton. I'm originally from Vegas,
okay.
So my man's Compton. We had a AP English class together, and every time we would go about, the teacher would bring out like studying like poems from the Renaissance period and everything. I would have like the highest grade in the class with that. So everybody started calling me Joey the Poet, just because I'm good with words or whatever. So I kind of took that and just ran with it and started doing rap and just kind of doing my own thing.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a question because, you said AP English. I used to be in AP English when I was in high school. And then also one of my favorite songwriters, he was very good in English. Well, actually, he was an English teacher, artist that goes by the name of Sting. And then I started, I'm also a musician as well, a songwriter, lyricist. And it all started off with poetry. So do you also do music other than poetry?
Yeah. So the two MP3s I sent you are some of my songs.
Okay.
Yeah, facts. Mostly like when I'm talking about like actual poems, like I have some stuff on SoundCloud, which I don't really work with SoundCloud no more, but I have like some stuff from way back in the day with SoundCloud that I have. You know what I mean? So as far as like songs, I do mostly do songs because that's what's bringing in the butter nowadays. But
okay, so how would you describe your music and what you're bringing to the music scene?
Honestly, I think what I do is like really diverse, man. Like there's a lot of, from mainstream, I would say, there's a lot of flooded content of like the mumble rap and like the quote unquote SoundCloud rappers. And I feel like right now is just like a really good time to kind of force good content back into the mainstream. So I feel like that's what I'm bringing. It's just like a more lyrical approach to everything. Like
okay.
One of the songs I sent you, "Rules," is more of like a singy type of song.
Yeah.
So that's more of an emotional thing, but there's still like it's still a lyricist's mindset that went into it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So actually, I got queued up your song "Count." Before we play "Count," could you give us the back story behind this song and what was your inspiration?
So I heard the song that J.Cole just released, Middle Child.
Okay.
And, you know, it kind of struck some inspiration in me. Basically, Count is just like, it's just like a slight flex. You know what I mean? Like me telling, because right now I started a team called Misfit District. You know what I mean? And basically Count is just like the beginning of everything, you know, because I recently just dropped a tape called Ferrari Triptych. And I just wanted Count to be like one of those songs that people, when they hear it, is more of like, wow, you know, like I need to hear what else this kid has to say. Because at the end of the day, there's like a completely different vibe from Count that is going on the radio right now, you know. So I just wanted to add that contrast to everything, where it's just like just mind boggling on some, you know.
Okay. All right, so here we go with Joee Giovanni here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Count.
This is Marquivas Furious Nias, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
If you see, you know that's Quad, boy. Count one nigga down, count two niggas up, count, we gon' get it in, yeah, lose when I draw, count three niggas on, count four niggas gone, count, fuck the opposition, I'ma bring it home, yeah, one nigga down, count two niggas up, count, we gon' get it in, count, lose when I draw, count, three niggas on, count, four niggas gone, count, fuck the opposition, yeah, I'ma bring it home, count, one nigga down, count, two niggas up, count, we gon' get it in, yeah, lose when I draw, count, three niggas on, count, four niggas gone, count, fuck the opposition, yeah, I'ma bring it home. Who this nigga came with the flame, but he cold as shit, they know this shit, they know this still wasn't the same since the older hit, I'm the shit, put a hole in his common sense, mama didn't tell you it's prominence, over everything hater, after a while crocodile, later alligator, I'm a gold, I'm a man, I'ma say the spitting shit like they disrespected the waiter, I'ma show these niggas, I owe these niggas, say hello to Joey for he's I foreseen this since I was 14, spin morphine, create more fiends, you frivolous faggots, you better keep up, Jesus told me to turn you into believers, he the one in need, I want him, leave him warning in the mornings, that's alarming, yearning, yawning, so my seeds firmly forming, ooh, shit get greasy, easy, my man, easy, that bullhead beat, shit to make sure you meet a speedy death, I take the shot, don't need the rep, I plead myself, a demon left, I'm breathing, heaving heathens to a house of grievance there, hold up, who been sleeping, dreaming on a team, I teach him how to seize it, how to beat the odds, yeah, east side gorilla grodd, you get clapped like an applause, ooh, what's the man to a god, ooh, what's the man to a, yeah, tell your mans not to try, turn that boy to a mirage, misfit be the squad, I'm the one, count. One nigga down, count, two niggas up, count, we gon' get it in, count, lose when I draw, count, three niggas on, count, four niggas gone, count, fuck the opposition, yeah, I'ma bring it home, count, one nigga down, count, two niggas up, count, we gon' get it in, yeah, lose when I draw, count, three niggas on, count, four niggas gone, count, fuck the opposition, yeah, I'ma bring it home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Giovanni with Count here on Deeper Than Music Radio. So you mentioned J. Cole. Who else? I'd imagine that he's one of your inspirations or artists that influence you. Who else influences you musically?
I'm a really big fan of Big L.
Oh yeah, Big L. So you taking it back to the 90s, man, digging in the crates.
Yeah, man. For real. Like I used to listen to like his album. My dad gave me that like a while back, and I just fell in love with it. And then I started like doing a lot of research on like battle rap. You know, I listened to a lot of battle rappers like Arsenal, Tech Nine, R.I.P. to Tech Nine.
Yeah.
You know, I listen like just all kind of lyrical content, you know what I mean? Because I like, me personally, I'm like really competitive. So I feel like if I can put myself in a position to where I feel like I'm competing with the greats, then it'll make me better than what I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So man, we talked earlier about. So how do you feel like coming from liking artists like Big L or like lyricists like back in the 90s? I mean, I'm a product, or product of that golden era. How do you feel about how you feel about artists nowadays, or like when you talked about mumble and SoundCloud artists. How do you feel the game is right now?
I think it's in a state of needing repair. You know, me personally, like I don't really have a personal vendetta against the style, because you know the beauty of hip hop is it's ever evolving. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different genres that go into hip hop. So, you know, I can definitely respect what they do. You know, that's part of their craft and everything. But me personally, I just feel like that the music with content just, you know, it's kind of died down because people are like really into the swag rap right now, which, you know, it's nothing wrong with it. It's, you know, it's cool for parties and whatnot. But as far as like the content goes, you know, like I know I'm not the only person in the world that's like craving content from people, you know, even if it's not just like a deep conscious rap, you know, at least like somebody that'll give you a couple bars every now and again, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like me personally, like even the production, everything sounds the same. I don't know where the song ends or where the song begins. And I think as a poet, you coming from a poet perspective, you'll feel me. Like I feel like the art is losing. There's no artistry in artists right now. Like yeah, it's like no artistry. Everything is simplified, and I feel like you say, like, yeah, swag is good. We want to party all, you know, you want to have different genres and subgenres, but
Right, exactly.
to me, I feel like everything is cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sounds the same. It's the same cadence. There's not that much flavor, you know, unless you really look in the underground. So, can you give me a rundown of your work, your body of work from an artist perspective and from a poet perspective?
So like Fried Triptych is like, I feel like is basically my Fried Triptych. You know what I mean? Like just a breakout work to just lay the basis of showing everybody like, okay, this is what y'all can expect from me as an artist coming from 2019 and beyond. You know what I mean? So as far as like a rapper, it's really heavy 90s influence.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know I've been listening to a lot of 90s hip hop, a lot of Dreamville, you know, a lot of TDE music. So I think I'm like heavily influenced by that. And recently there's a guy named Kentrell that just got signed by Nas. I've been listening to him a lot too. So it's like I've been listening to like a lot of heavy, you know, content. So there's, you know, there is that. Coming from a poet's perspective, I think what I feel like people would admire about Fried Triptych is that everything is not straightforward. You know what I mean? Like how the SoundCloud rappers and the mumble rap, like there aren't layers to anything that's being said. I mean, I know sometimes it could be weird how people do that, but like the way my metaphors and punchlines are set up is really cryptic. So you got to really listen to it 3 and 4 times to get everything that I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So you bringing back the artistry and artists being artists. Like my man Andre, he was like, let's do something mind unraveling, mind jabbling, something like you bringing the artistry back. And I feel like that is coming back. Hopefully, you know. So what would be your dream collaboration or your dream artist to work with?
Right now my dream collab is probably JID. You feel me? Like I wanna get, because right now I feel like he's like one of the top artists, like one of the most promising artists out right now, you know? And I'm like, I've been listening because he dropped the Never Story, and then he did DiCaprio 2, and before that he did DiCaprio. So like his whole catalog is just fire to me. So I feel like, you know, I wanna definitely get that JID collab, and then of course we've got the Coles and the Kendricks and Big Crit. You know, it's a lot of people, man. I listen to a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it seems like you listen to well seasoned and also up and coming artists. But the one thing I appreciate is they are artists. You know what I mean? They're not
Right.
one dimensional, and their pen game is on point. So let's flip back to the poetry. What is your favorite poetry period?
I would definitely have to say the Renaissance period.
Okay.
Just because, you know, I like the way that the language flows. You know, the way they talk in like day-to-day life was really, really layered. You know, like it wasn't like straightforward or nothing. So I think definitely the Renaissance period would probably be my favorite poetry period. Just off of the fact of having the way that the Old English language is what it's called, how they used to write in Old English, and the way that like we are today is just like mangled. You know what I mean? Like we just a lot of slang is thrown in everywhere, which is not a bad thing. It's good. You know, it's like creating a new language in itself. But yeah, I think that would be what it is.
Yeah, because now it's now in the technology, now everything's shorthand and acronyms, and now people don't write cursive anymore. So it's
right.
like
I actually met a couple people who said they don't know how to write in cursive, like they don't know how to signature. And I was like, wow, that's mad, bro. Like I learned how to write in cursive in like the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's crazy, man. we have your joint now, Ruse, that we're gonna play. Ruse, could you give us the rundown on this this song?
So Ruse is more of a sentimental song. You know, it's just like me talking about how I met my shorty that I got now. You know what I mean? Coming in, the first words is like, I've been told boys don't show emotion. You know what I mean? It's just like shedding light on how a guy like myself would go through kind of getting intimate with a person emotionally. You know what I mean? And like bringing this person on your life journey. And, you know, that's pretty much how that worked out.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Joee Giovanni, Ruse, here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
Hey, this is Ella Reed, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
I've been told what's yeah, I've been told boys don't show emotion. Cause if you fall too deep in love, you might end up broken. And don't nobody want that shit. Oh, no, no, no. Gotta keep in focus, stay in motion, that's my slogan. Though it feels so good to be chosen by you. By you, by you. Oh, and that's the truth. Got trust issues, so what's the rules? Gotta know your angle, you too acute. I can't lose, no, I can't lose. Yeah. Say I can't lose, no, I can't lose. All praise to the heaven, yeah. Oh God Almighty got me mighty giddy. Heaven had you highly recommended. Pretty classy, witty, that's a pity. Maybe I done shook hands with Cupid, losing grip on what's real elusive, real reclusive. Can't conclude if this love or lust, but fuck it, I got time. Tryna take a nigga out my mind, make my heart start a coup-d'etat like ooh la la. I ain't had to think this hard in a long time. Who knows? You might be the uno. You can tell them kudos. You know all the niggas that try to scoop yo. Tell them too slow. Couldn't get a second chance if they had one. They can see you on the big and better weather like a sumo. My casa, Casa, baby. I got you, they got to hate me. Mama said bragging's a bad habit, but fuck that shit, I ain't trying to break it. I'm trying to take it home to meet the folks, you know, the whole nine. I'm on your time, pay me no mind. Long as by the end of the night, I'm at the goal line. Showtime. The heart won't what it can't have. Take the chances, baby, maybe we just in the moment. Take the candy. Challenge is to not get cut, but fuck, I got a bandage. I got a bandage. Baby, don't you panic. Heart won't what it can't have. Take the chances, baby, maybe we just in the moment. Take the candy. Challenge is to not get cut, but fuck, I got a bandage. I got a bandage. Baby, don't you panic. Yeah, I've been told boys don't show emotion. Cause if you fall too deep in love, you might end up broken. And don't nobody want that shit. Oh, no, no, no. Gotta keep in focus, stay in motion, that's my slogan. Though it feels so good to be chosen by you. By you, by you. Oh, and that's the truth. Got trust issues, so what's the rules? Gotta know your angle, you too acute. I can't lose, no, I can't lose. Yeah. Say I can't lose, no, I can't lose.
Joee Giovanni, Ruse, here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Man, another good joint, man. So when did you know that, I know you started off with poetry. When did you know that you wanted to transition that to being an MC?
It was actually one of my homies, well, the same homie that I kicked it with in AP English class. His name's Compton. You know, we was we was just sitting at the crib, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you know, I do these little verses I put on Facebook every now and again." He was like, "Bro, you should come over, you know, kick it with me. Let's write some stuff or whatever." So, it started from there, man. And we had started a collective called Forever Young, and then you know we kind of disbanded. So you know, once I got to Dallas, I found my man's Water, K Money, and JDP, and we started Misfit District. So now, you know, it's just like that's which, you know, starting as a poet, I think it's a really easy transition to MCing and, you know, doing music because it's pretty much one and the same.
Yeah. So did you find it hard to like writing verses to a beat? Like with me, when I was doing poetry, it took me a while to transition from like, you know, when you write poetry, I mean, poetry is more kind of, you know, free flow, but it's still to a cadence, and then trying to write the content to like a beat or to a melody. I had to restructure my writing and how I, you know, went about with my delivery. Did you find you yourself doing that as well, or?
Kinda, not really, because like when I first started out, I figured out how to write to a metronome.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like I would find the tempo, and I wouldn't write to the beat itself. I would find the tempo of the beat, and then I would write to the metronome and like take the beat out. So that made it like a lot easier for me until I kind of acclimated to getting, you know, just saying I don't need the metronome now. I can just write to the beat.
Yeah. So how do you feel about you know, your art, your music, and social media? You like when you mentioned the '90s, back in the '90s, you know, you had your traditional record label. You know, you didn't have social media. You didn't have the internet. And now, thank God, with technology, you know, you can, like you said, people can do their own music in their homes. People can drop a song and release it themselves independently. You know, you got networks such as YouTube,
Right.
live stream, Twitter. How do you feel about that as an artist now? Do you think it helps you, or is it much harder? Because now, I mean, there are people that, you know, now since everybody can do it and have them
Right.
same means of getting things out, is it oversaturated?
I think when people like, because everybody will say like, yeah, you know, music is really oversaturated because of that. But I feel like that's really any industry. You know what I mean? Like you can be a lawyer. Being a lawyer is oversaturated. Being a doctor is oversaturated. You know, but it's about being good at what you do and having the confidence and the perseverance to keep going even when people say it's not worth it. You know, so I don't think the internet is harmful to that. I think it's a beautiful thing that, you know, people can take their careers in their own hands now and just like, you know, go full throttle without, oh, is the label gonna say yes to this?
Yeah.
I don't know about other artists, but me as an artist, like I study my fans. You know what I mean? Like the people who like my music, I study what works best with them and what doesn't work with them. So even if I had a label behind me, they wouldn't know my fans like I know my fans because they look at statistics. I look at people, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And then even so, I mean, the positive is that it does eliminate the middleman. You can do stuff independently on your own, and your fans can follow you, and you don't have to go like through the politics and the red tape. You can do everything from in-house and then release it from in-house. And I like how you said you follow the fans and not the numbers, because we do know that there's artists out there who kind of played with the numbers, or the numbers really didn't match the talent.
Right.
So that's a very good point. So what's next for you? I mean, what do you have? What's the future hold for Joee Giovanni? I know you talking about the current projects. You got any shows or anything coming up in the near future?
Yeah. So right now, we're actually in the process of getting this a 3-city tour. So Misfit District is gonna start doing just like Austin, Houston, Dallas, like every other month. You know what I mean? Just like a quick little 3-city tour until we kind of build a little more than what we have now, because it's already a new collective. So trying to just spread that influence across the Texas, well, the East Texas area. And just get that core cult following and try and get as much influence, build as much influence and reputation as we can with the name. So after that, then I got a tape I'm working on now called Feast of the Gods, and the whole situation that goes on with that is just that getting out and doing the hard work that most artists don't want to do is detrimental. So that's what we focused on right now.
Yeah. And you said you're based out of DFW area, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm based out of Fort Worth. So okay, yeah, man. You gotta let me know when you got anything going on local, man. We're definitely here and definitely support. So where can people, for the people that listen to the show and they listen to the 2 songs, where can people hear you? I guess this is time for shameless promotions. Like, where's your social media? Where can we find the music and things of that nature?
You look up Joee Giovanni. If you like the music, man, look up Joee Giovanni on all streaming platforms except SoundCloud. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, anywhere you can stream music or buy music, it's definitely there. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook @_poetry's finest. And, I'm the kid with a brown sweater and an afro.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, and then so I guess we got like 4 minutes left. My last 2 questions are at the end of the day, man, when it's all said and done, what do you want your musical legacy to be?
I really want people to identify me as like one of the best to do it. You know what I mean? Like I got a goal, which a lot of people look at it as far as like success. They look at success as a number. You know what I mean? I don't look at it like that. I look at success as being, when I'm gone, I need people to remember me. Even my grandkids need to say, yeah, he was probably one of the best MCs to ever live. So that's what I want to leave as a legacy, is like, even in the midst of something that's completely off from what I did, I still rose to the occasion and people recognize me as being one of the best artists to ever live, type shit.
Yeah. And then my last question is, what does music mean to you?
Really, music to me is just like, it's more of a outlet, and an outlet for me to tell my story to whoever is willing to listen to it. You know what I mean? Regardless of if that's like a 13-year-old kid, your grandma, uncle, all that. Like if they willing to listen, and this is my outlet. This is me telling my story. My past, my present, and what I want to do with my future. So, that's where I'm at with it. As far as, whoever, which there's different audiences for everybody. Everybody gonna like everything, but who do, then hopefully they can get something out of it. As far as like, okay, yeah, I heard that he did that, it didn't work out too good for him. I'm trying to teach life lessons. You know what I mean? Like I want to do something. I want to make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah. Wow, man. Well, hey, we definitely appreciate you being on the show, and just keep us, like I said, keep us posted on any of the shows you do, any new music, and we'll definitely add your 2 new songs to our new music segment, so that'll be added to the rotation. And again, man, thank you for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard 2 tracks from artist, lyricist Joee Giovanni here on Deeper Than Music Radio.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem, brother.
All right.
In my mind, find a time to relax, kick back. This track plays, yesterday seemed miles away, couldn't stay. Had to gather my things, catch the train of thought, spark the vision. Better living, given a chance, enhance this dream, make it seem true indeed. Leave a waste of space so I can chase venues, talk to you through tunes, room back, see the sack, rap about how it went down. Found music to get through, soothe these, release, be at peace, manifest words, deferred pain, sustained, remain at the top of my game. Came, never left, till my death, a verse dispersed, exhale, farewell. I was full of love of hip-hop, till my heart stopped. Rock mics till my light passed. Let's be real.
Walking through the park, holding my hand, September. care. And the best part is, he's always there. And I reminisce back in the day.
Wish we had more time, lifeline, decline, rewind, dead. We laughed, cried, couldn't say goodbye. Inside I hurt what it's worth. Through our issues, see you for you. That fool who skipped out, erased better days. Father, son, the one I was done with came back, fraction intact, whole again. Knowing when the end would come, couldn't sum up the courage numb. End of the road, seeing you hold to life. The many whys, the long goodbye. My mind tracks back to the day that you said, son, I love you. Renewed my faith in the dead I waited for.
Walking through the park, holding my hand, September